Bo Nix is a top 6 quarterback. You've heard it here first. We've been talking Bo Nix up since last year. He's too old, or he's not a very accurate quarterback. The Broncos are coming for everybody. This team is going to be so crafty on defense, on offense, running the football, throwing the football. Bo Nix is polished. Bo Nix might even be top 5. He might even be top 4. We're going to put him at top 6 to be safe. We don't want to get ahead of our skis, but this is a player that is going to shock worlds. And if you do want to execute upon a late quarterback strategy, and you don't consider Mahomes late, he's middle round, he's going round 5, 6, 7, depends on your league. You want to go after a player that's just a tad bit later than that, Bo Nix is your guy. BTJ injury scare, we'll talk about that. He is okay. It is a precautionary situation, having him sit on the sidelines after he went to the locker room. They looked at his shoulder. We'll go over that in a moment. But BTJ is okay, so that was a scary moment today. It got cleared up right away, which is why it didn't go live. It was he basically went down. Everybody was worried. Within literally almost minutes, they knew he was okay. We're going to talk about that and more. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Bo Nix is headed to the moon, ladies and gentlemen. You can either get on board or not. It's kind of up to you. I really don't care. We're going to ride this train until the train gets to the promised land, and Bo Nix is going to drop wattage all over the place in 2025. I think he's probably capable of 35 plus touchdowns, and that's me being conservative, a conservative Caleb. I think you consider his running capabilities, his rushing touchdowns, he's going to be well over 35 total. This is a monster, ladies and gentlemen. This is a player that can take you to places that early quarterbacks can take you, but he gives you the capability of getting that extra Kyren Williams because you can get your quarterback in round 7. You know, he goes in 7, 8, somewhere around that territory. It does kind of depend on, you know, where you're drafting, what platform. But there's still you got to go late quarterback. You don't want to go with a Josh Allen. That's not what I'm saying. Josh Allen is still a fantastic grab in the 3rd round if you're sitting there and all other players on the board are not attractive picks. Best player available will guide you. You're on the clock. Let's throw up this draft board example right here. You're on the clock here at the 3rd round selection. You've got Lamb Chops in 1. You've got Bucky in 2. You're sitting here at 3, and you don't like what you're seeing. You don't like it at all. You go Josh Allen without a hesitation. JD5 without a hesitation. If you like what you're looking at, if MHJ sitting there, Garrett Wilson sitting there, whatever RB you love, Kyren Williams is still there. You want to go a little early, Breece Hall, who we'll talk about in a second, that's fine. And don't think for a second, Hendy might drop into this territory. We're still drafting the hell out of Harvey. We're still drafting the hell out of Harvey on this channel for the most part. The haters can continue to throw their hate. They've been slinging the hate on Harvey all offseason anyway. The people that liked Harvey before the J.K. Dobbins signing, they didn't wake up the next day or come out of the signing saying, yeah, J.K. to the moon. Harvey's going down. Harvey's toast. Nobody said that liked Harvey. These are all quiet, dormant haters of Harvey that predicted his downfall, didn't like that he was 24 years old, and they're saying those things about Harvey, not the people that believe. They're loud, but they're very small in group. It's probably 10% haters, 12 to 13% of the rest of the negativity is true scared Scotties that just get a little petrified once in a while. You can reel them back in. But Hendy could move to round 5 because of Harvey, usually, or staying around 5, really. Move up to the top of round 5. Could even breach round 4, but Hendy's going to move up to the top of round 5. Harvey, who was going top of 5, might move down to bottom of 5, top of 6. He's still fantastic there. And then you got Mahomes here. You got Dak Prescott down in this territory. But now enter Bo Nix. Bo Nix is a marvel. Bo Nix is a potential top 5 quarterback. We're going to put him top 6, like I said in the title, just to make sure we're not getting ahead of our skis and having people go draft him in crazy territories. But this is a quarterback where you can get him in 6 or 7, and it allows you to do things that you can't do, even if it's this move right here. Take Mahomes off the board. I'll put Mahomes up in the top here and put Harvey here. Now you can grab Hendy, Harvey, and Hunter. Wait a minute. What is this? Deja vu. This is ringing a bell for me. Hunter in 4, Hendy now in 5, and now Harvey in 6. H, and H. That's the Triple H.
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
Yeah, buddy. This is where it's at right here. This is fantastic. So now if you're going to use Harvey in that 6th round spot instead of Mahomes, then you can go in this direction. We'll put Kelsey and Mahomes together on the side here. This is a different strategy. This is what we're talking about. This is a fantastic team. Can I get an amen on this? And can I also say something? Even if your 3rd rounder got hurt, let's say you went to take a leak or you went to go get an extra bowl of Doritos and they skipped you and they wouldn't give you your pick back. Does anybody think you might not even have a chance with this? Yeah, we haven't even put a 3rd rounder in there, but we get to put a 3rd rounder in there because of the Bo Nix strategy, the late quarterback strategy, which you don't want to cement in. You want to consider JD5. You want to consider those boys in the 3rd round, even Jalen Hurts in 4. But this allows you to maneuver into a very, very strong positioning at wide receiver. You're very strong at RB. You got Hendy and Harvey. You got Bucky. You got Hunter and Lamb. You got Garrett Wilson. Look at this trio of wide receiver. And then Dak Prescott, you could still get later, even if you got Bo Nix. And especially in best ball. In best ball, you go get Bo Nix and you go get Dak Prescott. In best ball, this looks like a Walmart watered down bully QB, but it's actually a very crafty, underrated bully QB. Nix and Dak Prescott nearly back to back. You could probably get Dak in round 9 or 10. But this is fantastic. Look at this. Look at this glory right here. Can I get a thumbs up or a fire emoji or an eggplant emoji? Some sort of happy emoji that expresses your gratitude if this team graces your presence or your displeasure. I want to see who likes this team, who doesn't like this team. Let's hear it. Harvey in 6 because you don't need Mahomes if you go Nix and Dak, although I like Mahomes. Hendy in 5, Nix in 7 or 8 or 6, wherever you got to get him, but Prescott in 9, 10, whatever. Hunter, Garrett Wilson, Lamb Chops, Bucky. You can put MHJ here. You can put JSN here. Whatever tickles your fancy. We got Chili doesn't like Garrett Wilson. Then close your eyes, Chili, and expect JSN or MHJ to appear there. And again, Kyron Williams. Point of the moral of the story, and the point of the story is buy Bo Nix, draft Bo Nix, be excited about Bo Nix, and realize that Bo Nix can win leagues. Truly. BTJ, we talked about BTJ and that he got banged up today. And then the report came out, pretty quickly, which is why I didn't go live. I didn't want to go live and scare everybody and then find out that he's good to go right away and then have to do another live stream. So I waited about 5 to 10 minutes, and then sure enough, this report came out 48 minutes, I guess, look, an hour, and then this one 48. So yeah, this one, it looks like it was about 15 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes apart. This report right here, the first one read, Jaguars, Bryant Thomas Jr. was down on the ground after landing hard after a pass play was broken up. He's heading off the field and going inside to the locker room. Everybody was holding their breath. Everybody was scared as hell. but it was about 12 to 15 minutes. And then it says Thomas is back on the sideline with his helmet. It's a contusion or a bruise, so to speak. And that's it. It's a precautionary measure to keep him on the sideline, but he had his helmet with him. He was on the field. There's no concerns. I'm sure they'll look at some other stuff just to make sure. They'll triple check and quadruple check, but very good sign. Harsh reminder that fantasy football is a brutal beast, and it could take out players at any moment, players that are on top of the world like BTJ. So we must always be grateful for the players when they're healthy and not take it for granted. And we've got a whole bunch of other news here we'll go through, and then we'll hit the super chats. Super chats will be answered in order in which they're received, so drop them, then we'll open the phone lines. Brandon Aiyuk is going to start the year on the PUP, and that Ricky Pearsall report also emerged that Ricky Pearsall and also Jennings should be ready to go here shortly, so there's no concern about those guys being ready for mandatory. But right here, you've got Brandon Aiyuk set to probably come back about mid-season, which is not a good sign. Brandon Aiyuk is not going to help you much in 2025. And if you draft him in best ball, you're pretty much throwing away probably an opportunity to get a player that can put more points on the board than Aiyuk and even be relevant and maybe even better than Aiyuk when Aiyuk is even back. So you're going to have like 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks of zeros if you draft Aiyuk at all. And you could go get a player that could maybe even be really productive, more productive than Aiyuk, even if Aiyuk came back and was good. It's going to take him a while. He was playing like trash before he got injured. He was in his own head. And he's in his own head right now. You can tell by his off-the-field behavior, his tweets, his aggressiveness toward his own fan base, his aggressiveness. The same thing happened with Deebo Samuel. The fan base and Deebo Samuel relationship got so fractured, he had to get traded out of Washington into that Washington environment where I think he's going to flourish. And there's some news about Deebo today. Deebo was running. It looked like a little bit slow. He's jogging, though. He wasn't full out sprinting. A lot of these overreacting Rodgers and these over-analyzing Oscars are definitely, scaring people into thinking players are going to be bad. It is June 11. Deebo's out there jogging. He did look a little sluggish. I got to be honest, but I'm not worried about that. He also looked really good the other day. So maybe he's having a bad day. Someone said maybe he put weights in his shoes. Maybe. Who knows? But Deebo will be fine. He caught 2 really good passes today, 2 touchdown-looking throws by JD5. So you say what you want about it, the situation. I'm not worried about Deebo. But my point is Deebo was upset, not happy in San Francisco. Brandon Aiyuk, that was from the holdout. The holdout created a fracture between the fan base and Deebo that was so great that Deebo needed to get traded. He wasn't happy in San Francisco. Aiyuk is kind of in the same boat. The Niner fan base doesn't. 50% of the fan base roasts him in every single post by any Niners content creator. And when a post, drops, or if Aiyuk on his own post says, you guys need to stop hating. There should be an age limit on hating. If you're over 30, keep posting pictures of your kids and get off my feed and stop talking about me. He's so self-centered. Look, you're in the public spotlight, bro. Block the haters, ignore the haters, whatever, move on. But he's still just absolutely wilding in his social media posts. He's not up here. He's not ready at all. And if he comes back, he's going to be a disaster. He's a waste of a pick. And I predict that the Niners will trade him before the season, or before the next season begins. So they can't even cut him. I think there's a chance they would have cut him if he wasn't injured. You can't cut an injured player, so the Niners couldn't cut him. But I've on a good authority, they don't want him there anymore. They don't want him there. And a Niner fan might be like, I can't believe what he's saying. The Niners won't cut Deebo. They can't cut Deebo. Did you hear what I said? They can't cut Deebo. Or I'm sorry, Aiyuk. They can't cut Aiyuk. They want to, but they can't. So you're hearing me wrong if you think I'm saying he's going to be. Smitty just said he's going to be cut. He can't be cut. They want to cut him. Aiyuk is dead weight right now. When he comes back, what's he going to be? 5th option on the team, getting paid $30 million a year. You got to understand that the Niners are all about, doesn't matter what's happened. What matters is right before us. And right before us is a situation where we're going to pay this man a boatload of money in the future still if we keep him. We may have paid him a lot of money already. I know we're going to eat some dead cap, but the bottom line is the Niners are about saving money right now, and Aiyuk is dead weight. Shedeur Sanders, I love this kid. I love this kid, and I love that people don't love this kid.
Let him cook.
Shedeur's going to prove all of the doubters and haters wrong unless the Browns step on his opportunity, which they could. There's news that either Shedeur or Gabriel, the other rookie quarterback that got drafted ahead of him. Jeez, bro. I mean, come on. Come on, Cleveland.
Take a big lap. We don't need your hating ass coming back now. Take a lap.
I mean, probably one of the dumber moves by the Browns. You literally take Gabriel. The guy's not a good quarterback at all. You take him over Shedeur. It's blasphemy. It's just blasphemy. It's crazy. But Shedeur is proving so many people wrong. And he's such a monster. He's getting better every day. He's super humble inside the facility and around the locker room and on the field. And all the people that think that I'm saying he's humble about every part of his life. And did Smitty just call him humble? He's the least thing from humble. I've heard that over and over. You're literally not listening to what I'm saying. Shedeur's taken every bit of this process in good light. He hasn't said why me or whined at all since he's been drafted. He literally took his lumps. He's been very focused. And this report here, he spent 20 minutes after today's mini camp practice working on passing drills. He just is dialed in. And I can't wait for people to eat their words on Shedeur. And in some ways, I hope the Browns cut him because the report was either Gabriel or Shedeur. I think this is what I was about to say, and I sidetracked myself. Gabriel or Shedeur won't make the roster. They're not keeping both of them. And the fact that it's even being pushed out there, like it could be one or the other, this makes me, I hope he does get cut because then he's proved so much already. Just in this short amount of time, how he's carried himself in this very tough situation that would have made some of the haters and whiners crying right now about Shedeur. He's not humble. Stop talking about Shedeur. You're so wrong about Shedeur. About 99% of the people that are saying that wouldn't have handled this situation properly, like Shedeur's handled it, with humility, with, okay, I made mistakes. I'm here to correct those mistakes, and I'm going to work hard. And he's done every single bit of it, making great throws, looking fantastic on the field, getting all these players believing in him, rallying around him, watching him grow and rise up from the bottom, the depths, and rise up like a phoenix and turn into a really, really, really good prospect. So Shedeur is exciting the hell out of me right now. I can't wait for people to be wrong on Shedeur. We've got this piece of news here. Calvin Austin, I've been saying this all offseason. Steelers wide receiver coach talking about this kid being the team's clear number 2 wide receiver. And I like him a lot. He's a shifty, fast little kid. And, he could be something. He could be something to look at in deep dynasty, but maybe not redraft right now. Breece Hall. How tall is he? Does anybody know the answer to this? How tall is Breece Hall? I would love to know if you guys have been doing your homework. Breece Hall. Let's see.
Breece Hall is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the mother freaking call. Don't let him fall. In the third, don't stall. Just give Batman the freaking football.
He's Breece.
He does a hell of a job.
Get breached.
Get breached. Joe, what are you rambling about here? If he's doing like you say, why would they cut him? Stop. Do you guys understand what I have to deal with? Comments and people like this all day? It's just nonsense. Joe, what did I say that makes you think that I'm saying something that you should be saying stop about. Explain to me, Joel. What are you talking? You want to call into the phone line right now, Joel? This is for Joel only.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
What in the hell are you even talking about? I just explained it to you, Joel. I just explained it to you in tremendous detail. What are you confused about? I'll walk you through it on the phone line, step by step, Joel. We'll go through it together. Should I trade away Gibbs for Walker, Charbonnet, and DK? No, you should not, Scotty Doo. Stop making bad trades or considering bad trades, and you send this to the person that sent you that.
You are off for sex. You are made off for sex.
And so, Joel, I told you, call in if you want to discuss it. You're still rambling and you're not making any sense. Stop saying how he's impressing in camp, that he would be cut. I just explained all this, Joel. I'm waiting for you. Dial in and try. And let me teach you a little something, Joel. Let me teach you a little listening lesson. Because, I mean, you don't know what you're talking about. Everybody else heard what I said. You're the only one confused, Joel. You're the only one confused right now, and you're acting like I've got to stop. Look, back to Breece Hall. Breece Hall said, I feel like I'm a 3-down back when asked about the Jets having a running back by committee. He's not taking none of this nonsense. He's going to grab the starting job like this with a kung fu grip, and he's not going to let go of it. And even if they do have a committee, they have a committee in Detroit. How'd that work out? Wait a minute.
Got him.
That worked out pretty well for Jahmyr Gibbs. It continued to work out pretty well for Jahmyr Gibbs. How's that going to work out for Hendy?
You've just been Smitty approved.
How's it going to work out for other running backs that need to share the damn ball? Because they're playing a very unique role. A very unique role. Yeah, Joel, you're taking a lap because everyone in here knows you're taking a lap because you're going like this and nothing's coming out. Nothing I said deserves a stop, Smitty. You know what? You don't tell me what to do, Joel. I'll say it over and over and over until I'm blue in the face. This is my show, pal. Not your show. You don't tell me what I can say and what I can't say, Joel. That's the nature of this relationship. Thank you, Scotty, for that super chat, my boy. And Breece Hall's going to the mother freaking... No, not the moon. No, not Mars. Not maybe Saturn.
To Saturn.
We have him on the Saturn board. Really could put him on the
The Saturn Men.
One small step for man, one giant.
He's on a shuttle to Mars.
This is our Mars men.
Mars men.
We need to put
The Saturn Men.
Nick's
One small step for man, one giant leap for Saturn.
Spaceman.
Look at him.
Spaceman.
He looks good on Saturn. This is nice. Let's put him on here. We'll celebrate this in a minute, but Nick's needed to be on here. Yeah, he's right here with Hall though. The reason we're here is because of Breece Hall. Still having that ADP around 3.3 to 3.6. And anyway, Joel, you're not listening. I already told you. I'm not gonna waste any more time with Joel because he's not listening. He can't hear what I'm saying. I literally said, you want to call in and get owned on this topic. You don't know what you're talking about, Joel. I'm done with you. I'm not answering another question from Joel. Joel doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just rambling. Shedeur isn't getting cut. We know that, Joel. We know that, Joel. Joel, maybe you need to rewind the show and go listen to what I exactly said. Okay, Smitty to freaking Saturn. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. Thank you, Rhino. Appreciate you. We've got more news to get over before we open up the phone lines. Joel's not going to call in. Ben Sinnott, Commanders head coach Dan Quinn said that tight end Ben Sinnott has been among the young players who have stood out this offseason. And this is good news because we love this kid. We love this kid coming into the league, and then they didn't use him. They didn't necessarily need to use him, but he wasn't ready. The tight end position translates very slowly. And so it's not something that you can expect a tight end like Ben Sinnott, if you believe him to be good, to do well his second or third year, not his first year, because he wasn't a top prospect that was going to get the opportunity no matter what, like a Tyler Warren or a Loveland would get, where they just get thrusted into the lineup no matter who is there. Ertz was in the way. Ertz did need to get hurt. Ertz didn't get hurt. Ertz, had a really nice year. So Ertz's likelihood of staying healthy all year is probably low. And Ben Sinnott, entering another season, has a lot of experience behind him now. This might be a player rising up that we kind of like that we didn't get to see rise up yet, that we get excited about it. So get ready for that. Breece Hall, 8 feet tall. Love the guy. Love the guy. This news right here, Omarion Hampton, coach, offensive coordinator Greg Roman said that Omarion Hampton is the total package. This is another running back that lives in a committee, and like Harvey, even if Harvey is in a committee as problematic as Najee is for Hampton to get all the work in week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, because Najee will be used. It is a good thing in some ways if Harvey and Hampton were to be fully unleashed in weeks 4, 5, even 6. I know we all want it now because then they don't hit a rookie wall. Jahmyr Gibbs didn't hit a rookie wall, essentially. And if these guys are more slow starting than a rookie shoved in like Genty, they won't hit a rookie wall, or if they do, it's going to be very small. It might be a blip on the radar. So there's pros and cons to Harvey and Hampton getting full workload in week 1, and there's pros and cons to them not. So either way you flip it, Hampton's going to eventually be the star. It just might happen in the second month of football. Harvey's going to be the guy. That just might happen in the second week of football. Not that he won't be productive and usable at a flex position or even a low-end running back too. Harvey's getting half the work no matter what. And even if Harvey sharing half the work is your worst case scenario. And we even had Sean Payton come out and talk about RJ Harvey because people kept talking about the J.K. Dobbins signing yesterday. Or today and yesterday. And today, at the podium, talking to reporters, do you know what, when the question was asked about J.K. and whether they could afford to make these moves because of this and that and the deepness of the roster, and you know what Sean Payton said when he was asked about Harvey? He said, "We'll wait and see how it plays out." And then he said, the lifeblood of this team is from the draft. The draft is the life. I think the exact quote was, "The draft is the lifeblood of this team," is what he said the next sentence after asked about J.K. Dobbins. You let that sink in. Understand what Sean Payton's already said about RJ Harvey, and understand that RJ Harvey's the future of this running back stable. Understand that, like Najee, J.K. Dobbins signed a 1-year deal. Understand that J.K. Dobbins has missed more games than he's played in his 4-year career. That's not me trying to estimate or just, exaggerate. J.K. Dobbins has missed 54% of his games in his 4-year career. 54%. He's missed 47 games and played 37 games. That is a staggering number. Played 37 games and missed 47 games. Harvey to the moon. Love the Harvey haters. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. I can't wait. All right, where are we at now? We're at what other piece of news do we have? Is someone saying the audio's still not where it needs to be? I keep rising it up and down. How's that? Is that audio good? Is that audio good enough? Is that loud enough? It's kind of been hit and miss this week. I've had some audio level issues that I think I'm working through. So let me know if that sounds a little bit better. Sound a little bit louder. There we go. Let's see. It's funny because some people will say that there's a problem and some people will say that it sounds just fine. So I don't know. I can't tell. Is that better? Is that louder? That should be good. Audio is fine on my. That's what I'm saying. There's always one or two people that have their iPhone volume down. they're literally slowing the show down because they don't know how to work an iPhone sometimes. I'm not saying that's the case here, Prime, but I'm not hearing anybody else complain. Mike McDonald said that Kenneth Walker has been limited in practice with an ankle injury. Already, Kenny Walker is banged up, and this it's gonna make it tough to trade him if he is gonna be somebody that gets traded mid-season if he can't stay healthy. So I don't know. Charbonnet is definitely the guy I want, and I'm kind of not drafting both these guys anymore. I'm just not drafting both these guys anymore. I love Kenneth Walker. I do. I have him stand alone sometimes, but I have to admit, in the last, 30, 40 drafts on Underdog, I don't think I've drafted Kenneth Walker one time, and I've drafted Charbonnet about 40% of the time. I want to say about 40% of the time I'm taking Charbonnet. I just, the cost of entry on Walker is too high. If it falls, I think we could get back in. But Charbonnet, I'm grabbing nearly every time. That's the Kenneth Walker news. I think we have this one right here. Colston Loveland, shoulder will be full go for the start of training camp. So he's banged up right now. Rookies get banged up a lot. It's something you got to watch out for. Loveland's going to be a little bit behind it. I don't even know if he's going to get overdrafted because how does he even get work? It's going to be hard for him to get work in a crowded offense, at least consistent work. He's going to be up and down. He might be a decent best ball option because you don't have to plug him into a lineup spot. He plays when he outscores everybody when you're in an optimal scoring setting. So I'm not drafting a lot of Colston Loveland anyway, but he's already banged up. That's not good. That's not good news. And I think we pretty much have covered all the news so far today that I wanted to go over. BTJ, again, shoulder injury scare. He's okay. Breece Hall says he's an every down back. He's going to prove it this year. Bo Nix going to be a top 6 QB. That news coming from me. That's just me breaking that news. That's me making a statement. There's not even anything on Bo Nix really today. I just wanted to come out swinging and put him on the Jupiter man, or the Mars man list.
Saturn man.
Saturn.
One small step for man, one giant leap for Saturn.
Saturn list. He's on the Saturn list. Brandon Aiyuk, not going to help anybody this year, at least till midseason, and even then, it's like, what are you doing? Why are you drafting Brandon Aiyuk at all? Especially in non-best ball, you shouldn't be drafting him. There's so many other players you can go get. Sean Payton suggesting when J.K. Dobbins brought up today in a press conference, we'll see what he does on the field. We liked him. We like adding good players. He's a good player. Anybody that can help us win, we want to add them. He didn't go saying he's the starter. He said, we add good players. He's a good player. We'll see how it shapes out on the field. And then literally the next sentence says, our team, the lifeblood of our team. The draft is the lifeblood of our team. Bo Nix, RJ Harvey, and another player that I think people are sleeping on that I love a ton is the rookie wide receiver. The rookie wide receiver, Pat Bryant. Pat Bryant is a sleeping giant potentially in the late rounds. We're talking double-digit rounds. We're talking around 15, 16, 17. And you can grab Pat Bryant as your last wide receiver if you want. Let me write this so you can see it. And I like him a lot. He's got so much upside. When people are grabbing Higgins and Noel, I'm waiting for Bryant sometimes. I'm not saying I don't grab Higgins too, but I want Bryant on my team. I want Bryant on a lot of my best ball teams. I've been drafting him probably nearly every draft because I believe in Knicks. I believe in the Broncos. I believe that I might even change my mind here and switch up the West and potentially have the Broncos winning this division. I love the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going to be good this year. Even if the Broncos don't win the division, I'm thinking on this if I'm going to do it now, here and now. We have them tied right now, and I know this is a tough thing. Let's put it at 12 wins each just to make it more of a mathematical probability of occurring. That way we don't hear a lot of people crying and complaining about the probabilities. Because as we tweak this around just to say this could happen, I'm not tweaking all of them together, and then it gets out of proportion, and then people cry and complain and be like, it can't happen, the probability. Like, we're just speaking about the records at the top here. Obviously, there's a trickle-down effect. So people don't get their panties in a bunch, let's make both these wins 12. Or did I go 3? I went the wrong direction. I'm giving them a 12-3 record. Let's go 5 wins there, or 5 losses there, Smitty. And then we'll change this 4 to a 5 as well. So this will make it easier to have the complete conversation. But I think that the Broncos have a real shot at winning the division. We're going to leave it right here for now until I really cement in and hone in on this. But I believe the Broncos might be, how I do, I'm 2 for 2 this in the past 2 seasons of predicting the Super Bowl outcome. And I admittedly hedge it so that I'm winning no matter what. The year prior, KC Chiefs, Eagles to show, and this $20 pays about $1,300 to $1,400 on this. So if you want to follow my lead this year, it'll cost you $40. Or if you want to do $10 version of it, you'll just get paid, paid out half of the amount. You'll get paid like $1,650 or $700 roughly. So every $10 you bet in Vegas will be like $650 if you get this right. So you predict the 2 showing teams and the team that you think will win. And then I hedge it and I pick the same exact 2 teams and the other, I pick both winners. I'm 2 for 2. The past 2 years, and I've done it on this channel, so it's not like I'm just telling people about it. I've had people tail me on it and they've won big money. Who here is watching right now that tailed my pick last year and won some cash money? Because we got people that regularly watch it say, Smitty, I won, $5,000 on your Super Bowl prediction last year. I'm 2 for 2. Eagles, Niners, and Eagles to win. Eagles, Niners to win. That's what I predicted. Then last year, I predicted the Chiefs and Eagles and the Eagles to win and vice versa. So this year, I'm very tempted to say Washington and KC, Washington to win, Washington and KC to win. But I'm getting really an itchy trigger finger to make it the Denver Broncos to show. And I'll grab a winner on both sides. So you're burning $20 to hedge it. So $20 will pay you $13.50 roughly on those teams. So I might do it this year. I might do an $80 drop. $20 on Broncos versus the Commanders. Commanders win. Broncos versus Commanders. The Broncos win. Commanders versus the Chiefs. Chiefs win. Commanders versus the Chiefs. The Commanders win. I might do a 20, 40, 60. Yeah. Yeah, I might do it I might do it that way. Eagles broke the Chiefs' spirit. Get out of here. Quid pro. Come on, bro. That's nonsense. Team breaking their spirit. This team just about won 3 in a row, and they barely didn't. What are you talking about? Broke their spirit. Your guy must be an Eagles fan, because that's the wildest comment I've heard all week. All right, phone lines are open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Broke their spirit. That's something a Niner fan would say. Oh, we really turned that team inside out, and then the Niners lose the same exact way the next round, and they're fine. The Niner fans, let's test the phone line.
No, you're right, Smitty. Birdie sucks.
Okay, phone line's working with our regular test. Dial in. Bo Nix, top 6 QB. Pat Bryant, sleeper. Breece Hall, says he's going to be an every down back this year. RJ Harvey getting some support by Sean Payton today at the podium. Our team, the draft is the lifeblood of this team. When asked about J.K. Dobbins, you got to love it. You got to love it. All these Harvey people. You know, people are actually trying to put my fantasy season in the grave already. Like, Smitty, already a bad start. Like, it's just what a bad start you've had. Like the Hunter 80. We've been crushing it all off season. The best ball draft advantages we've had because of the things we've called. We've called so many things correctly on this channel. Pickens getting traded. Like, it's so funny what the haters. Why do the haters even watch? Why does a person and Mike, you're borderline hater sometimes. Just so you know, you're on thin ice the way you come in and just try and cherry pick everything. Disagreeing with me is no problem. I have an open phone line. It's almost near hysterical when someone says, Smitty, you'll kick people off your channel that don't agree with you. Then why do I have an open phone line? Why do I have tons of debates with people? Those people don't get blocked. The people that get blocked are the people that sometimes sit like Mike, you've been doing it lately, and they wait, and then they come in and try and tear down this piece of content, tear down that piece of content, tear down that. You're just in the chat trying to cause dramatic chaos. Those people will not be here long. I can promise you. You do that, you're going to be out of here. It's not about disagreeing. It's about making it a riled up and unfriendly experience for somebody that just comes into the chat. You'll be gone. We don't need you here. Not necessarily talking to Mike right now, but Vampy in the building. Vampy in the building.
Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy.
All right. Disagreeing's fine. Joe, you can disagree. Joe, did I block you? Did I kick you out, Joe, because you're saying nonsensical things in the comments today that no one agreed with you on? That you thought you would dissected what I said right? You didn't. Did I kick you out, Joel? I didn't, did I? I even invited you to call in, didn't I? Which you didn't accept. Rock Out accepted. Rock Out's on the phone line. Rock Out.
Mashed potatoes!
What can I do for you, Rock Out? You are live, young man. You are live.
Yeah, I definitely think Bo Nix can be in that top 6 conversation, and he has a better defense, so he'll definitely have more opportunities, and I also think they'll win the division. And that's my thoughts so far on that.
Yeah, Bo Nix is becoming my favorite recent quarterback to draft. I'm just let me see if I turn this up if my mic goes. Oh, whoa, my mic went up a ton. Okay. Hold on, let me kick this back down. It looks like we got a resetting of settings of sorts. I might have found the setting that gets resetted every time I restart my computer so that the phone line will work, so that everything can play nice. You got to understand, there's a lot going on for a live stream. People don't understand how much is involved in doing something like this. I'm not complaining. I love my job, but there are so many things that I got to do constantly. I'm my own producer. There are shows out there that got 3 hosts and 4 producers and an editor, and we do it all, and we do it all live.
Let him cook.
You know who also does it live? Bo Nix.
Let him cook.
Bo Nix does it live. What else you got, Rock Out?
And when it comes to Brandon Aiyuk, you think he could be the biggest downfall that was in his prime?
I don't think he'll be the biggest downfall. We've had many downfalls. Aiyuk's almost irrelevant. Like, I don't even think about him. So him not showing up and being a elite player is something I'll barely remember. I don't think he's ever been. I mean, there was a point where he was. There were a lot of people that liked him like near the second round that year last year. And I thought that was crazy. BBQ dropping 50 gifted memberships.
Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy.
BBQ, appreciate you.
$50! $100+! Smitty. Everybody's pretty. $100+ I don't even know why they're getting ditty why. $100+
Thank you, BBQ, for dropping that shade of glory on everybody right now. Appreciate you very much. BBQ, the lifeblood of the Broncos is the NFL draft, said Sean Payton, referencing a little shot at Harvey being the lifeblood, potentially the running game, is what he's trying to say when asked about J.K. Dobbins, the lifeblood of our team's the draft. Well, part of the lifeblood of this show is BBQ.
Mashed potatoes!
All right, what else you got there, Rock Out, for me, besides Bo Nix is a top 6 QB?
Stock on the rise.
Stock on the rise. RJ Harvey is on the decline.
Stock on decline.
But we are here for it.
Let him cook.
Love it. Love that he's on the decline. Rock Out, what else can I do for you?
What are you expecting out of DK with Aaron Rodgers?
What am I expecting out of DK Metcalf, Aaron Rodgers? What I would say, I think we did this the other day, and I think a very good projection for him was a safe. Let me get DK on the screen here. I'm trying to do a good job of keeping the player that we're talking about on screen, so that when you're scrolling through and you're trying to find what I'm talking about, where's my DK Metcalf graphic? There he is. DK Metcalf. I put Bo Nix. Bo Nix, stand over there for just a minute. I know we already got Bo Nix in the corner. DK Metcalf. I think we said something along the lines of 70 to 80 receptions. 1090, I want to say I said something like that. And then I think we gave him like 9 to 10 TDs, and then I dumbed it down to 7. And I could even dumb it down, and not 7 to 10. I think something along the lines of 6 to 9 TDs would be a safe expectation for DK Metcalf. And that's still pretty good considering where you're getting them, you know? Feel like that's pretty good. I wouldn't be mad at all if I got that out of DK Metcalf. That's a fine, damn fine stat line.
Like, what round are you trying to get him at?
What round am I getting DK Metcalf in? I guess DK Metcalf, the Aaron Rodgers signing might have bumped him. Let me see if the ADP rankings have adjusted for that and see if they've updated. By going to 2025 best ball rankings, DK Metcalf is going at pick number, he's still very far down there, 45 overall. Above DK is Devontae Smith, Travis Hunter, J-Mo, DJ Moore, Ted McMillan. I'd rather have DK over Ted McMillan. Worthy, Evans, Adams. I want Adams, Evans, Worthy over DK. DJ Moore, you could argue that. I'd rather have DK. J-Mo, you could definitely argue that. Travis Hunter, I'd rather have Travis Hunter over DK, over J-Mo, over DJ Moore, over Ted McMillan. Over probably, I think Worthy and Hunter, you could start making arguments, but you could even make arguments for Hunter 2-3 more wide receivers up. That's how much I love Travis Hunter. But DK Metcalf at 45 overall, that puts him at 45 is, it looks like right a little bit past middle round 4. You know, maybe that rose a little bit. I don't know that I feel great about that as much as I did in round 5. So maybe I'm not as high on DK in best ball, but I still like him in grandma leagues where I think he goes in 5 probably. So I guess it's a mixed bag for me. I don't mind him in 4 if, let's say, I'd passed on wide receiver. Let's say I went robust RB. I went Bijan, Bucky, Kyron, and then now I need to get DK and Debo or DK and whatever. I'm okay with that. But I guess the question would be, is Rashee Rice still available? Because I would rather have Rashee Rice than DK Metcalf.
Probably.
And Rice has been climbing into 3. But in grandma leagues, I doubt he goes in 3. You know,
How about Devontae Smith?
best ball and non-best ball are very, very different. Devontae Smith, I'd rather have DK Metcalf than Devontae Smith. I'd rather have the number 1 wide receiver even in Pittsburgh versus the number 2 wide receiver in Philly. And keep in mind, Philly's no great passing attack right now. They ended the season very, very shaky. Even though they won the Super Bowl, Hurts was struggling, and they lost their offensive coordinator. So last time that happened, Hurts dropped off big time as a consistent downfield thrower. A.J. Brown, inconsistent. Devontae Smith, inconsistent. And down the stretch, Hurts was not impressive throwing the football. He just happened to do well on the ground like he always does. Scores touchdowns. The tush push is amazing. And they won a Super Bowl because the defense is unreal. Barkley's unreal. The entire package came together, and they creamed everybody. But without Kellen Moore there, maybe we see this offense do what it did the year prior to Kellen Moore, which was the new offensive coordinator since Shane Steichen left for Indy. And Shane Steichen might be a piss poor head coach in Indy and making horrible decisions in Indy, but he was a good offensive coordinator. Cliff Kingsbury, not the best head coach, amazing offensive coordinator in Washington. Ben Johnson, amazing OC in Detroit. Maybe he's a piss poor coach in Chicago. This is about a 50%, I would say, return rate of a good OC getting his shot and becoming an amazing head coach. Look at Mike McDaniel. And Mike McDaniel wasn't even really the offensive coordinator, but he was a mastermind offensive scheme artist. And he goes over to Miami and shits the bed. And he's still there, crapping the bed right now. All right, let me go over to Travis real quick. Rock out, mute yourself if you could. Travis, what can I do for you? You're live.
Hey, what's up? If DK hits those numbers, it puts him in that like wide receiver 12, 15 range, which I think is reasonable. He plays the full season. So
RB. Let's say RB QB. Let's say you go Bijan, Bucky, Josh Allen, DK. I'm okay with that. DK being your last resort. I went robust RB and early tight end, or robust RB and early quarterback, or whatever. And I went late wide receiver 1 shopping. I'm okay with it. I don't know that I'm going to love the team as much as I would if you had balance, though. It's okay, but I don't know.
And Rodgers in that Pittsburgh system, we mentioned it before, probably one of the better places for him at this point in his career, because it's not as demanding on a quarterback. So, he doesn't need to be the Rodgers of old. They're going to run him a ton, make some throws,
Yeah. Smitty to Saturn, freaking Saturn, hit that like and sub. Thank you again, Rhino, for posting that earlier. BBQ with the $10 holler. $10 hollers get Mars shots.
To Mars!
Thank you, my boy BBQ. Broncos have done a great job rebuilding the team. Look at the money hit from Wilson and our now very dangerous team with Nix, Harvey, Sutton, young offense and defense. The defense is really good too. Offensive line, it's going to be fun to watch Harvey run behind this offensive line. And even if J.K. Dobbins does get it in there on third down, which the rumors today were, there are two things going on. Sean Payton addressing the media and really putting kind of a damper on J.K. Dobbins to a degree. And then there's another report and another question that he answered that was like, where reporters are suggesting that he could get in there on third downs, but Sean Payton didn't really say that. But people are writing about it and projecting it and talking about it, and pass protection and comments that he might have made about J.K. Dobbins being a good pass protector, but not saying he'd be in there on third downs. He's already said Harvey's going to be there in there on third downs. But let's just say, worst case scenario, J.K. plays the third down role initially. He'll end up getting hurt, and Harvey's in there on 1 and 2 downs. It's no different than Hampton. Hampton's going in round 3. Hampton's going in round 3, 4, depending on where you're drafting, and he's in the same exact scenario. I don't really understand. It's really, I do understand. It's the order of it. If Najee Harris was not signed until after the draft, everyone would have the same reaction to Hampton. Hampton's toast. They brought in Najee. The fact that they brought in JK after the draft and not before the draft And Harvey's been impressive. It hasn't been one of those things where they're like, Harvey's not the guy we thought, bringing JK. They brought JK in later, after Harvey's already impressed, and Sean Payton's gushing over him now, was gushing over him before the draft. This is not that replacement move. People are just wild. Sean Payton said it today. The lifeblood of this team is the NFL draft. But anyway, I look, the Broncos winning the division, the Broncos winning the Super Bowl, or the Broncos even showing up in the Super Bowl to lose against the Eagles or the Commanders or whoever you think is going to be that team. Lions, if you will. I don't think so. Without Ben Johnson, no way. But do I think the Commanders or the Rams could surprise everybody? Remember the year the Rams won the Super Bowl? They weren't supposed to. That one year when they kind of came out of nowhere to a lot of, in a way they did. And so they were amazing the next year. Everyone's like, oh my God, they're the best team ever. And you hit roadblocks. And Eagles returning with losing their offensive coordinator, with Barkley having 430 carries last year, 470 plus touches, it all being put on Barkley's shoulders with Kellen Moore now gone, and Jalen Hurts never getting fixed. Even last year wasn't fixed in terms of being able to throw very, very well. I don't know if the Eagles are going to return. I think this feels like a year where they drop back again and they try and rebuild, not rebuild, but reload a little bit with mostly coaching, not necessarily players. And if Barkley can't, finish, they got to figure out how to, does he drop off? Does he not? And for people that say Barkley's built different, he's been, maybe not. All I know is the 371 carry curse, which Barkley went well past with 430 plus carries, is taken out more running backs than it has not taken out. It's a very dangerous game to be carrying the football above 371 carries. It's not just a year ender the next year. It's a career ender for about 90% of running backs that cross that threshold. Thank you, BBQ. Anyway, Broncos to the moon. Bo Nix top 6 QB numbers are in the cards. Higher numbers than that are in the cards. He really could be a top 4 quarterback.
Stark on the run.
And this is a guy that we got made fun of for liking better than Caleb, for calling him in. Him and Penix Jr. were the most exciting quarterbacks for me last year outside of JD5. In any previous 10 years, really, because the doubt was so heavy around Penix Jr. and Bo Nix, in the belief on this side of the table, our community, this channel, me, loving Bo Nix, loving Penix Jr., loving JD5, and the amount of hatred slung at these guys. They're old quarterbacks, they're old guys. Bo Nix is not, he was the most NFL ready. We said that on a many occasions. Penix Jr. also very NFL ready, but Bo Nix was truly the most NFL ready QB. May has a lot of upside still, doesn't quite have the surrounding support yet. We think it's going to be this year that we start to see a lot of it kind of jump out. Hendy drafting offensive line. It very well could progress. How good's Kyle Williams going to be? Will Diggs be healthy? There's a lot of reasons to be excited, but I think they're a year away. Denver's ready now. Go ahead, Travis, with something else, and then I'll go over to Bruce.
Yeah, and to speak on that draft being the lifeblood of the team, I think he's talking about Pat Bryant too, because if you look at Pat Bryant and Sutton, there's some similarities in their profiles and similar size, and they can do some of the same things. And Sutton is a free agent at the end of this year. I think he's 30 or 31, or getting close to it, and they're getting close to 30. So if Pat Bryant steps up, they may move on from Sutton after this year.
Yeah. Ziggy, how old is Pat Bryant? No, I'm sorry.
He's 22 years old.
Ziggy, how old is Cortland Sutton?
Cortland Sutton is 29 years old and was born on October 10th, 1995.
So turns 30 this year. So turns 31 next year. So correct. Right now he's 29, but he turns 30 in October. So you're correct. He'll be 31 during next season. But yeah, I
could afford to keep him, but he's not that elite one.
Yeah. And what Sean Payton said, though, to elaborate more on his press conference, Sean Payton said, the draft is the lifeblood of our team. And if you remember back, we built everything from the draft. We were amazing. And then the team dissolved, and then we were left with the quarterback and the punter, is what he said. Then we had another amazing draft, built the team up. He's like, we build through the draft. He said it two or three times in a very short period of time when discussing J.K. Dobbins signing. And he was trying to make people calm down a little bit because everybody's like, what's it mean, J.K.? And he said, he's a good player. We're in the habit of getting good players. If they can help us win, they will be on our team. If they can't help us win, then they'll no longer be on our team. Like, that's the answer he gave when was being asked about J.K. Dobbins, the presence of J.K. Dobbins on the roster, and then said right before that part, but said that the NFL draft is the lifeblood of the team. Someone did ask about Pat Bryant, a sleeper on this channel for a little bit of time now. We've been talking about him. I just talked about him a minute ago. You heard Travis just bring him up again. Pat Bryant is the guy that Sean Payton identified to potentially be, you could say, the Marquise Colston of this roster. Now, I'm not saying that Pat Bryant will for sure be that guy. I'm saying that Sean Payton sees it in him. And Sean Payton said this when talking, pretty sure I'm close to word for word, but bear with me. He said, True Penguin says Pat Bryant is a fifth string wide receiver. Listen to what I'm saying, True Penguin, because you don't listen to everything else you hear, because you're gonna get misguided, I think, if people are telling you that Pat Bryant doesn't have a chance. Sean Payton said today that he liked what he saw in the NFL draft. They specifically went after him. He was drafted very high. Ziggy, what draft pick was Pat Bryant in the 2025 NFL draft?
From MileHighReport.com. Pat Bryant was drafted in round 3, pick 74.
74 is high, True Penguin. So you might want to pay attention here. I'm telling you, you're gonna be sad and mad at yourself if you're thinking, if you heard something and it's carrying over and influencing what you're thinking right now. This is a 3rd round pick. This is a 70 range overall pick. This is a player that got drafted. What wide receiver got drafted right ahead of him and below him? Let me see if it was. Let's see here. Let me see. NFL draft tracker. Because people don't realize where Sean Payton took this kid. I think that if anybody's telling you that he's probably going to be just a bench player, he's a 5th string player, you're going to be sadly mistaken. Kyle
Williams and Tesla went 69 and 70, and then Jalen Noel went 79.
Let me see here. Let me pull. Okay, so it went Pat Bryant. Noel went below him. Right above him, Kyle Williams, Tesla. So the 3rd round wide receivers were Kyle Williams, Tesla, Pat Bryant, Jalen Noel. And Besh and Trey Harris and Luther Burden went, in the 2nd round. But this is a high draft capital. If Sean Payton is telling you that the lifeblood of the team is the NFL draft, in the conversation when asked about J.K. Dobbins, in reference of Harvey, and then he transitioned straight over to Bryant after he made those statements and talked about the lifeblood of the team. And he said, Bryant is looking good. He said, I liked what I saw. And he said, I like what I see. And he made a reference about, like, he's learning a lot. Like, he's trying to catch here and there. We're working with him on little things. But I like what I see. This is the guy that he wants him to be the guy. I just want everyone to know that. You do not, Sean Payton, who says that he builds his entire team from the draft, is not wasting a 3rd round pick on a player he doesn't see as his potential number 1, even if it takes a year to get there. So Dynasty, keep your ears open here. This is the guy that Sean Payton wants to be the number 1 wide receiver on the team. Take that in and understand it, because that's what Sean Payton's telling you. Now, if he doesn't become good, it is what it is. But when Sean Payton comes out today and says he loved what he saw and he loves what he sees now, That is telling you that Pat Bryant's doing everything he can to be in Sean Payton's good graces. Pay attention. True Penguin, I wasn't meaning to come at you. I feel like you maybe heard something, and I want you to have all the information. Sean Payton's not wasting a third-round pick on a fifth-string wide receiver, bro. He's not. Brucey, you're live, and then I'll go back over to Travis.
Hey, Smitty. I got a question on our Breece Hall, our 8-foot-tall employee. Do you think that with him saying I could be a 3-down back, do you think this is going to affect his ADP or not?
Good question, Bruce. I don't think so. I think that a coach saying this is a running back by committee and a player going, excuse me, I failed you all last year, and that's the way people feel about Breece Hall. Took him first round draft capital, essentially, and he didn't deliver. And he's gotten injured before, and so he's failed people twice, whether it was his fault or not, and even both cases not his fault. When he's getting the ball, he's amazing. So Breece Hall saying, excuse me, could I have my stapler? I was told that I could have a piece of cake. This is Milton from Office Space to people right now. He's just talking. I don't think anybody is listening to him. I think what they're hearing is a coach say, we're in a running back by committee up in this mug, and Breece Hall's trying to weigh people down. They're not paying attention. They don't care. They don't trust him the same way they used to. So maybe he climbs a little bit because of Harvey's drop, and it coincidentally looks like it might be related, but I don't think Breece Hall climbs much higher than the late third round. And you have people that are still talking about right now. I see screenshots. I hear it all the time in passing that he is somebody that people don't trust as a top 15 running back in many cases right now. I got it's a little too high for me, little too rich for my blood. When you're talking about somebody being well outside the top 12 running backs, so not a running back one consideration at all. This is a player that lives outside of most people's top 15 running backs.
People get terrified of that word committee, and it like sticks in their head for some reason, and they just run from it. So it wouldn't surprise me if those people still won't adapt, even if they start talking about Breece Hall being the guy more.
Yeah. All right. This has got to be good. Smitty, in my opinion, it may be time to start looking at the cheapest, most overcooked, baked-in, risk-free receivers that we could pick up in the last pick and underdog best ball. That would be Allen Lazard.
It's Aaron Rodgers' burner account.
Bro. Come on, bro. No, man. Really? I hope we can look back on this and laugh if Lazard's great and it makes a good clip, but that's not it, bro. That's not. Give me Pat Bryant, please. not Lazard. Come on, bro. Look. Aaron Rodgers picked up the phone, I think, and tried to get Lazard to come over, and Lazard's like, I'm done with this. Chasing my tail. Chasing Aaron Rodgers' tail. I'm done. I want my own tail.
Oh, Rick.
Yeah, I want my own tail. And I want to chase my own tail. I'm tired of chasing Aaron Rodgers' tail. And there's no place for Lazard to be an elite wide receiver, bro. He'll be the most inconsistent wide receiver. That's not it. That was cute, though, bro. I like it. Bruce, what else you got? Fields going to feed Wilson. Yeah. Do I see Taylor as a solid option with Breece in the passing game? Just curious how you see the offense going. I think Taylor's pretty good. I think there's not a lot of competition there in New York, so it's going to be Garrett Wilson being fed like DJ Moore was fed back in Chicago when DJ Moore was turned into a top 5 to 7 wide receiver, depending on your scoring, because Fields laser locked on him. How do I know that Fields will laser lock on Garrett Wilson? Because they were teammates in college. The band's back together. Fields and Garrett Wilson played together in college. So it's going to be glorious, but I think Taylor's going to be good, and I think Breece Hall's catching 60 to 70 passes. And Fields not checking down is the biggest bunch of fake news I've heard in a long time. Fields checked down a ton last year, and he can and very well will check down because he has one of the most amazing receivers in the NFL in Breece Hall. Breece Hall is one of the better pass catchers in the entire league. And Fields is going to use him as a safety. So not worried about that at all. Good question, though, BBQ. And Mike, if Barkley goes out, like you mentioned, Eagles wide receivers go up. I mean, that is in theory good logic, but I mean, Hurts has to play good football, bro. You know, I think sheer volume will get you somewhere, but will it get them maybe to where you want them to be, where they should be? If Barkley went down, then, and it doesn't mean Barkley even goes down for the whole year. He could go down for 5 games. He could go down for the final 4 games. The odds of Barkley going down are more toward week 8 on, because he didn't have any signs of wear down or wear and tear walking out. So he's going to start off on fire. Like, understand what I'm saying. I'm going to love it when somebody walks in here and says, Smitty, Barkley looked amazing in week 1. I bet you feel like a fool. And we're going to say, no, we told you that Barkley was going to go nuts in week 1. I'm not, people don't listen. They don't listen to what I'm saying. His likelihood of injury will be very much, or decline of some sort, will be very much in the mix-in range. The week 10, 11, 12, 13, that's where injury's probably going to strike a player that's been given 430 carries the previous season, 470 plus touches, and then he goes into, because he's built different, he goes into the season still tearing it up, and he doesn't have the drop off like a DeMarco Murray had when he was given 371 carries and his career was done, or other running backs that got 371 and got cooked. He'll be different, yes, but then if he does get injured, it'll be probably in the later part of the season. I can't guarantee that. He could get hurt in week 1. But I don't know that I just cement in, Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown for top 5 and top 6 and top 7 wide receiver numbers. Is kind of hard to say. And then this super chat by Alex, drafted Hunter Golden, Kyle Williams fan in Dynasty. I like that. I'm not a big fan of Golden. I wonder who is there. I hope you didn't pass on Harvey because of all the Harvey negativity for Golden, but I don't mind Golden. I think he's got good trade value, so I do kind of kick the tires on a trade right now using Golden. I'd try to go after Harvey now. Use Golden and something to go get Harvey right now from a Panic Peter. But don't go after Harvey. Ask him if he wants Golden. Say, I'm looking for an RB. Don't inquire about which RB. Let him come up with the idea. And if he even mentions, what running backs do you have? And he says, RJ Harvey, be like, didn't he, J.K. Dobbins, play dumb to a degree. J.K. Dobbins just signed. Like, isn't that bad? And then he starts selling him to you. No, bro, you'll be fine. His voice gets high. No, bro, you'll be fine. And then all of a sudden he's selling you. And then he's putty in your hands and you're getting RJ Harvey for Golden and a second rounder. All right, Travis, go ahead. What else you got?
So with Ben Sinnott, if you're in a dynasty league and you need a tight end, would you give up like a second rounder for him, or third rounder for him? Would you be trying to buy low? How much do you read into this?
I don't think I'm buying Ben Sinnott as much as I'm just picking him up if he's available. I think if I had Ertz and no other tight end, I might look into it. But I think this is somebody that, there's going to be leagues. I know he's available in 2 of my dynasty leagues. Without even looking, I know he's available. You have an opportunity to grab that one share, and if he's great, then awesome. I don't think I'm making moves to get Ben Sinnott yet. If he starts showing promise and Ertz goes down, that's a different story. But this is still a waiting game. You go acquire him in a league where you need that spot to be an active player. Or if you had an empty practice squad spot, a taxi spot or something, then it makes sense, to pick him up and hold him, or throw him into some other trade, or offer a 4th rounder or 3rd rounder for him and see if someone bites. But that's it. 4th rounder, probably something like that. I don't even know. Yeah. I don't even know about a 3rd rounder. Maybe, if you have room for it, I guess, and you can practice squad him.
Yeah, that's just asking because I know, like Ertz is obviously like kind of Jaden's safety blanket last year, but he's got a history of injury. So
I love seeing it.
Holding up could be slim.
I love seeing it, but tough to really know for sure. Jacob says, shout out to Smitty and the chat for being real ones. This is the space. This is the space is goated. I think you meant to just say this is a goated space. I don't know. Thank you, Jacob. Appreciate you, my boy. Brandon says, does Smitty like Caleb Johnson? I like Caleb. I don't hate Caleb Johnson, but Caleb Johnson is in probably a worse situation. Not probably, he is in a worse situation than Harvey or Hendy or Judkins. They're all in sharing environments, which is why I laugh when people diminish Harvey. The only reason people diminish Harvey is because they already hated him. They've already said very bad things about him. He's going to be bad. He's 24. He's going to bust. And then when the Harvey hype started to go, it's like that Homer Simpson meme where he goes into the bushes. And everybody goes into the bushes and they're just looking. They're like, man, I said a lot of bad things about RJ Harvey. I said a lot of bad things about RJ Harvey. And then the moment something comes to light that might be tearing him down a little, that, yeah, I told you RJ Harvey was bad. That's why you're seeing it right now. But it's no different. Najee, Jalen Warren, Stevenson, Dylan Sampson, a rookie, but still a problem. And Jerome Ford's still there. Everybody's got a sharing situation, Hampton too, except for Genty. So it's wild to me that people are like, oh, Judkins to the moon, Hampton to the moon. But Harvey is now all of a sudden a player that everybody's running from. It doesn't make any sense. It's laughable. I've got people, a guy on Twitter, it's like, Smitty, this is a bad day. This is a bad day for Smitty. Smitty's down bad today. It's like, what are you talking about, bro? You don't even know what you're saying. Caleb Johnson, I like him a lot, but Warren's got to get injured because you got two or three problems. You could really knock it down to three problems. You've got Jalen Warren, you've got a vanilla offense, you've got, especially with Aaron Rodgers leading the way, you have Aaron Rodgers takes away from look at Breece Hall, takes away from the opportunities that a running back has to shine on the ground between the tackles. So maybe Warren will shine catching the football. And if Warren goes down, Caleb can recoup some of the lost value by a vanilla offense led by Aaron Rodgers, who proved to make everybody hate Breece Hall going into this season and forgetting about how talented he is. So he's got to overcome Jalen Warren, and Jalen's got to get hurt. He's got to overcome a vanilla offense led by Aaron Rodgers. And then he's got to overcome Arthur Smith, who's potentially going to, because this is not an elite running back stable, and he couldn't even play his most elite player in Atlanta. What makes you think he's going to play Caleb over Warren all the time when he wouldn't even put in Breece? You realize Breece Hall was the third running back in the pecking order for goal line work his rookie year. It was
Bijan.
What did I say?
You said Breece.
Oh, Breece. Sorry, Bijan. Bijan was third in the pecking order for Arthur Smith in Atlanta during Bijan's rookie year. It was Algier, Cordero Patterson, and then Bijan. Yeah, right. Arthur Smith is not the man you want in charge of your fantasy football hopes and dreams. So that's why it's not that I don't like Caleb. I hate his offense. I hate the fact that the only thing he could really repair some of the damage that the landing spot caused him is if he gets Jalen Warren's role. And even then, who the hell knows what Arthur Smith's going to dial up. So this is not the best environment at all for Caleb Johnson. So the fact that people are telling me that Caleb over Harvey right now is a gross negligence in your decision making. This is one of the worst decisions you could make, is going after Caleb over an RJ Harvey because of J.K. Dobbins. If you liked Caleb before J.K. Dobbins signed, so be it. And I'm not saying Caleb doesn't have the talent if it all goes right. I like Caleb. I'm not calling him a bust. But I think when people start judging RJ Harvey versus Caleb and they act like Caleb doesn't have more red flags He's got 5 times the red flags that R.J. Harvey has. R.J. Harvey's in an amazing offense by a coach that gushed over picking him and says he's doing fantastic, and he's a 3-down back. And when someone said, but what about if he can't pass protect? And he still answered, he's in there on 3rd downs. We're going to throw to him. We'll give him the ball. We'll figure out ways to block without R.J. Harvey needing to block a linebacker. He's like, we did it with Darren Sproles. Darren Sproles would get the football all the time on 3rd down. This is a 3rd down back. This is a 3-down back. He told everybody. And yet everyone's acting like R.J. Harvey's this player that's going to be just toast now. It's not that Caleb can't be good. But he is in a problematic situation where there are a lot more red flags for Caleb than there are for Harvey. That's just plain facts. I'm going to jump here in a second. We've got 171 of you to 200 in and out. Please subscribe if you're new. I'm live every single day at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm live almost every single evening at midnight Eastern. And I'm also additionally live whenever news breaks. We're not leaving yet, but I want all of you that are in here right now to make sure you hit that subscribe button and be certain to also, so you can hit the subscribe button. And if you want to become a YouTube exclusive member, click this membership right here. There's a membership here on mobile, membership here. But hit that like and subscribe button.
Hit that subscribe button if you're new, and wipe your feet at the door.
Wipe your feet at the door. Rock Out. Are you still there, Rock Out? Final thoughts. Bruce hung up. Bruce, see you tonight, pal.
Right. Who would you go with, like, in the 4th or 5th round, either Devontae Smith or J-Mo?
In the 4th round, did you say, or you said 5th or 4th? Because I'm not drafting
Fifth.
either around 4.
Fifth round.
I'd find something else, I think, more times than not. I'm not saying Devontae Smith can't be that good, but I'd rather have a Debo or another player a round or a round and a half later, and I think there's other players that are in round 5 that I'd rather have, bro. Mahomes, R.J. Harvey, Hendy if he fell in a non-best ball to round 5. There's just so many options there. I know this answer because I know that J-Mo and some people take J-Mo at the end of the 3rd round, so they probably think I'm crazy for passing on J-Mo at 4, but I don't want any part of J-Mo. J-Mo's not even the 2nd option on his team. With Ben Johnson gone, I think he's talented. He's very talented, but I'm not going after those guys yet. I'd rather have DK Metcalf, who's the number 1 option. Even if it's a lesser offense, he's still the number 1 option.
Yeah.
I'm not a big advocate of taking the 2nd option on a team as a receiving option, especially when there's competition for you not to be the 2nd pass catching option on your team. J-Mo's fighting for the 3rd most targets maybe in the receiving game. Thank you, Kirkwood. Glad to see you back, Kirkwood. We haven't seen you in here in a while. All right. Appreciate you, Rock Out. Calling tonight, bro.
All right. See ya.
You the man. You're the man, Rock Out. Travis, any final thoughts?
Yeah, just real quick. If you could rank a couple sets of guys for me. First, would you be taking Drake May or Bryce Young this year?
May or Young? That is a good question. I think I'm taking Drake May.
Me too.
It's arguable though, for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, give me Penix over both of them, obviously. Give me Kyler, obviously, over both. Trying to think of another QB that might be, obviously, Bo Nix, we just talked about being a top 6 QB. But let me see if I can cook up another shocking quarterback that I'd rather have than May and
Stroud and Love under them.
I think they're kind of in the same wheelhouse as Young. Love is probably a tiny bit more. So obviously I love Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Baker, Kyler, Bo Nix. Fields is kind of in this a little bit higher than these guys, but I'm not resorting to one of these guys. I go after a little higher player like Kyler or Fields. Bo Nix is QB, QB 9. Bo Nix is QB 9 right now. That's fantastic value. Go get your Bo Nix shares while you still can. Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott goes right with those guys. Herbert goes right with those guys. Give me Herbert and Dak over May, Young, and Penix. Or I'm sorry, not Penix is also above. So May, Young, and Love. Okay. So let me re-rank this. So I'm going to have May, Love, then Young in that order. And I could have Love over May. It's arguable. Hold on a second. This damn thing is blurry. May, Love, Young, and then I'm going to put Dak. So Bo Nix, Fields, Kyler, Mayfield all off the board here. Purdy, Goff, Dak, Herbert. I'm going to go Dak, who's going to have a top 6, 7, 8 season. Herbert, based on his ability. I know he's restricted, but I'd almost say T. Law and May are kind of in the same group here.
Yeah.
I would almost say Penix, I'm going to go in between. That doesn't pause. Well, let me just rewrite that. So Penix here. What did I say? Dak, and who else was it? Dak and Herbert. I might go Penix Jr. over Herbert, actually. So Penix Jr.
Yeah.
And then Herbert. Herbert would be above both of them if he was in a better offense where he was unlocked.
Right.
That's kind of how I'm feeling. Right. And Stafford, give me Stafford over, no offense to May, Love, and Young, but I just think that the weapons, I'd rather Stafford. You know who else? A surprising guy that's going to go right, maybe above Herbert, Cam Ward. I'd put Cam Ward above Herbert. You can call me crazy all you want. It's not because of talent. It's because of the situation. If he got traded to Minnesota tomorrow, Herbs would go above everyone. But Herbs is playing for a coach that wants to run the damn ball. So Dak, Penix, Ward, Herbert. Ward's going to have a big year. And maybe Penix over Ward. If I forget.
Oh, yeah. I think Penix over Ward.
Yeah, I don't know how I listed it.
I think with Ward, I love Ward. And I think Ward can crack the top 15. I just think he'll have some games where he's off because he can be a little bit of a gunslinger and make some mistakes. So I think there'll be a little learning curve for him. Yeah. But I think we're going to see, elite talent coming out of it.
Yeah.
He's going to surprise me.
I'll get to these super chats. Let me get this phone caller off. Scott, real quickly. Scott, you're live. You got about, 30 seconds, then I got to go.
All right, Smitty, I'm on the clock.
Whoa. Is this Scared Scott?
It's a Scared Scott.
Scared Scott? We haven't heard your voice since last year, and you were in the chat. What were you running your mouth about yesterday? Just completely obliviously giving horrible fantasy advice.
I was just trying to rile your feathers.
Yeah, not likely excuse. That's what usually people say when they realize how wrong they are later. What were you trying to rile my feathers about? What was it you said?
I said Dobbins is him.
Oh, Dobbins is him. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
All right, go ahead. You're on the clock.
In fact, I'm thinking about making that my fantasy football name all year now. Okay. Anyway, I'm on the clock, and I've got a great draft going. 12-team PPR. Pick number 9. I got Malik. Malik Neighbors.
Malik.
Malik. I got Malik Neighbors. Then I took Achane. Then I got Kyron Williams. And then I got Rashee Rice. And I'm up. And I've got a choice. I can either go
probably a mock
Hunter or Hindi in the 5th.
Probably a mock.
And I'm thinking Hindi.
I would probably, let me ask you a question. Is there a possibility by counting ADP and draft slots, can you get Hunter then Hendy? because I imagine Hunter's ADP is higher, and if not in this format,
it is. But to be honest, Godwin's still there, and I kind of want him in the next round.
Godwin.
Fuck, he's going to be ready week 1. The Godwin's the number 2 overall receiver.
He's going to be ready
Why
week
do I
1.
not want Godwin?
Not necessarily going to be ready until a little bit into the season, bro. He's not guaranteed to be ready week 1 at all.
Well, he could be. But you're
now
talking
he
about a
could
guy
be.
that was
He's going to be ready week 1. He
and
could be ready week 1. This is why I correct you in my chat, because you're feeding people horse crap.
But yeah, I don't think
information.
Hunter doesn't have the pass. There is no way Hunter can be number 2 overall receiver. Godwin showed he can. He's also shown that he can be top 12.
Godwin can't stay healthy, bro, number 1. Number 2, he's the number 2 on his team. I'm not saying Godwin didn't have a good start, but it was a very small sample size, you might remember. But Godwin's always injured, bro. He's always injured, and he's injured right now. He's injured while we're having this conversation, and you're telling me that you want Godwin over Hunter. Give me Hunter and a shot at Hendy. I think that's what, if you think it could happen ADP.
There's no way no way Hendy lasts, because 3 guys after me are short on running backs. So there'll be at least 3 or 4. The next 3 picks, that's going to be 6 total picks getting back to the thing, and I don't think he won't make it. So
I like both of them, though.
But it could.
I don't think you could go wrong here. You got 2 RBs, you got 2 wide receivers. You're very balanced. So I don't think the chat can vote on it, but I'd probably say Hunter for me if it's PPR. If it's half PPR, I think I still lean Hunter. Well, actually, it's probably pretty even then. And Hendy's going to catch a lot of footballs, but I think Travis Hunter's going to be a monster, bro. But they're both going to be monsters, so you can't go wrong either way. I just think you might have a shot. Is Hunter's ADP at least a small amount higher than Hendy's, though? Or is Hendy's ADP?
Hendy goes before Hunter. So
in your format, okay. Every format is different.
There's 4 receivers. There's 3. They still have Flowers, McMillan, and Sutton on the
and how many picks
Flowers,
between
McMillan, and Sutton? So
how many picks between this pick and your next pick?
6.
Okay, yeah, then go Hendy. If Hendy's ranking higher on your pre-ranked list, every league format's going to be different. The pre-rank ADP is going to be different. Take Hendy. I bet you Hunter still falls, but you know what I also bet? You don't take Hunter, you take Godwin, and we all laugh.
I might do that. I don't know.
I know you because I know you. I got to go, Scott. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, later.
Call him tonight. All right, Travis, final thought.
No, I'll talk to you later tonight. Thanks, man.
Appreciate you later. Adam, appreciate you. Traded Neighbors for Marv and Rice rebuilding. I don't know. I mean, I think you could argue this is a good move. Chat, what are you saying on this one? Neighbors for Rice and Marvin Harrison Jr. It's not it's good either way. You know, if you need a lot of players and you can't win with Neighbors, then it could be a crafty move. But it's one of those things where I could go back and forth on it. So I don't know that you crushed or he crushed. It's just kind of like it's a lot of talent going both ways. But let's see what the chat thinks on that one. Jess Sherman, appreciate you. Burrow in likely or Dak Pickens in a first in Dynasty. Depends on where the first is. If it's an early pick, I probably would rather have Pickens, Dak in the first rounder. If it's a mid to late, I'd rather have Burrow and likely. BBQ with a $10 hauler. Appreciate BBQ.
Too much.
Doing work. Harvey used a walker to get to the draft podium. He's so old. He's joking. He's trying to make fun of all the Harvey doubters. He's mature, knows how to take care of his body. He is built for this, and he will be fed accordingly, says BBQ. BBQ is correct. BBQ stock is going up.
Stock on the rise.
BBQ stock is on the rise. You know what's funny too is in Mike's Godwin comment. It's such a type. You know, this is the psychology in fantasy football. Those that hate Harvey, those that hated Achane. And Mike's gonna tell you he didn't hate Achane. Probably the biggest fib ever told. Those that hate Harvey, hated Achane or Kyron, or probably both. Doubted Penix Jr., I almost guarantee it. Those that hate Harvey would say Godwin over Travis Hunter. Those that hate Harvey can't stand Shedeur Sanders. It is a total type. It's a total type. It is what it is. See you guys all at midnight Eastern to draft and to talk about something important.
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
But the continuum of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs' workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux capacitor out the continuum component megabolt, things just end up happening. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 to 10 running back instead of top 6 to 10. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. That's the show you just watched right now. We're additionally live whenever big news breaks. We're additionally live most midnights Eastern to draft and have discussion. A after dark show, graveyard show, if you will. See you all at midnight Eastern.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.